Hi everyone, I'm Tamaya Smith and welcome to my channel, Talking with Tamaya, Lifestyle of the Bomb and Brilliant. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell so that you can be notified when I post new videos. But this video is a video that was much requested by my subscribers. I did a poll on my Instagram where I asked you guys, did you guys want me to do a college experience video or how to land your dream job video? And it was a very good, it was very close, so I just filmed both videos. But instead of this being a get ready with me video, it's just going to be a sit down video where I give you guys the tips that I employ to get my dream summer job. And I really believe deep in my heart that these tips will help you get your dream job as well. So let's get into it. So first, I'm going to get into my dream job that I had this past summer. For those of you who don't know, I got the opportunity to work for HBO, and this was an amazing opportunity for me because not only was I able to work at a company that was very creative and worked with some of the most amazing creatives in the world, but it was also very enlightening to just learn more about being an entertainment lawyer and just working in the business of entertainment. One of my long-term goals is to become a CEO of a media company, so this was just a great opportunity to connect with executives and just learn more about talent and then contracts and then deals and just so much. So I never even dreamed that I would have the opportunity to work for this company, especially not after my first year of law school. So these tips are just the tips that I employed. The first one is to find out what your dream job is. Now, I knew that I wanted to work in entertainment. If you're a law student, you know that everyone tells you, all the upperclassmen tell you to apply to public interest jobs because those are the jobs that are typically hiring. Most of the time, 1Ls do not apply to big jobs only because it's very competitive, especially if you're in a competitive environment like myself. I go to school in Los Angeles. There are so many law schools in Los Angeles. There are so many law schools surrounding Los Angeles, so the competition is fierce. So people really just play it safe. But I say find out what that dream job is. If you know there's something that you want to learn more about and figure out if it's something that you're actually passionate about, figure out what that thing is and you apply to those type of jobs. So figure out first, what is your dream job? Because you might not have a dream job. It might just be you want to do a bunch of different things to just gain experience, or you might be like me where you really knew that this is what you wanted to do so you could learn more about it. So after that, I would say start looking early. That is why this video is out so early. This is more pertinent to summer jobs, but the time to start looking for summer jobs is like December, January, and that seems so premature. But if you want to be one of those people who you're going to get 1,000 rejections. Like, that is the nature of the beast. But it's better to start early because it kind of softens the blow for you. If you start early, well, not really, it kind of harshens it, to be frank, because it's kind of like, dang, I just got denied from 50 jobs. But even so, if you start early, it's a lot better than your competitors who might start looking for a summer job in, say, March or April. And I did experience that. I had so many friends who really started very late, and those are typically the people who have a very hard time finding jobs only because they start so late. So I would say start applying to those jobs as soon as you know what it is your dream job is. There's no such thing as too soon unless it's a job that hasn't put like the application out yet. But typically, if you're looking for law school jobs or even like jobs after college, jobs after like one of your years of college, they usually start putting things out in December. So I would say start applying very soon and be very consistent with your application process. So don't just apply to 5 jobs on Monday and think that you're going to land your dream job. Be ready and willing to apply to 15 jobs a day if necessary, because like I said, it can be a very competitive market. So you really just have to be consistent, you have to be persistent and willing to just put in the work. And it is a lot of work, but it's doable because I did it, so you can definitely do it. The next thing is cast a wide net, but not too wide. And let me tell you why I say this. Back to my previous statement, people really discouraged me like no other when I told them I wanted to work in entertainment. They really just made me feel like it was the worst decision I could ever make in my life. Like, girl, like, you're not gonna get an entertainment job. That is pretty much what they said, but not exactly those words. But that's really like the feeling I got from people. People really were just not supportive of that because they knew that it was competitive. But what I find is that people like to cast their fears off on you. So because it's something that they're fearful to do or something that they're reluctant to do, they think that you have that same mindset, and absolutely not. You can't be that way. You have to be willing to Take rejection, be okay with it, and keep trucking along. Don't let it make you discouraged. Don't let it keep you from going after your goals. Be willing to take rejection. So when I say cast a wide net, I mean, like, yeah, you might want to work for an entertainment law firm, but be willing to apply to networks as well. When I say wide net, I don't mean a super wide net where, well, I know you don't want to do public interest law, but just do it anyway, girl. Because I, unfortunately, like, somebody might tell you otherwise, but I personally do not believe that if you know in your heart of hearts that this is something that you don't want to do, don't apply to it. If you're in a situation where you don't really know about public interest law, or you don't really know about a certain type of job, then yeah, maybe you can apply for it and just see what happens. But if you have your heart set on something and you have your heart set against something, don't be that person to do something just because you want to play it safe. So yes, you can cast a wide net, but not too wide. And don't do it just to satisfy your peers or to feel like you're doing what's right. Do what's right for you, because that's what's most important. Network and use your network. Now, when the word network it's honestly, it gets thrown around so much, it's to the point where people don't even know what it is anymore. And even I get confused, but not really. I know how to network. I am a networking queen. But anyhow, when I say networking, I don't mean the traditional form of networking that we all see at our school events or we see around. Like, that's not the networking I mean. The networking that we usually see is like you bring your business card, you dress up in a suit, and it's like 50 students there, and you guys are all trying to make an impression on 5 people. Unfortunately, I have found that that is not the most productive use of my time. My first year of law school and even in undergrad, I went to so many networking events, and you just become a number. It's almost like we're all here in our little suits with our little bags and our resumes, and we're just saying like, pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me. But it's very rare that people really walk away from that and to have jobs, because unfortunately it is hard to separate yourself from a large group of people when there's just so many of you guys. People forget who they talked to. It becomes very overwhelming. And I just find that when I say networking, yes, sometimes those events are mandatory, like you have to go to events like that, but I don't think that that is the most effective use of your time. When I say networking, I mean find these people on LinkedIn. Like, if you're going to just some type of event and you happen to see somebody that you know that works for some company or has some friend that works for some company, make connections with these people. Networking should not be oh, I'm going to use you to get to the top. It's about building relationships with people, connecting with people. How can I help you? What can I do to help you? It's really just about a mutual relationship and reciprocity at the end of the day. You want to just make connections with people, long-lasting connections that will last you through your career. So when I say networking, I don't mean, hi, I'm Tamaya, I'm really interested in this job. I feel like I'm the best candidate because, no, not it. Hey, how are you? Yeah, I'm Tamaya. You work for blah, blah, blah. Okay, I have a friend that works for them. I'm really interested in blah, blah, blah. What do you do? Okay, I have a friend who does that. I can give you her information. She's very helpful. She does this, she does that. Like, what can you do for them? And then you can wonder about how they can help you. But don't be that person who's just jumping into the situation just thinking like, oh, she's gonna help me get a job, because that's not always the case. In addition to networking, rely on your current network. One of the jobs that I got, which is another one of my dream jobs at another entertainment company, I ended up choosing HBO over Viacom. For those of you guys know who Viacom is, it's another media company. But I ended up choosing HBO over Viacom. But I got my job at Viacom through my mentor that my school gave me. So I just contacted her like, hey, I'm looking for a summer job in entertainment. And she's like, okay, I have a classmate that works for Viacom. So I met with her classmate, we interviewed, she loved me. I met with like 3 other people at Viacom, they loved me, and I got the job. And that was just by me reaching out to her like, hey, like, you're my mentor, like, do you know of anybody? Like, do you know of any jobs? So not only should you be networking, but also rely on your network. Be resourceful. So let me tell y'all how I got this job at HBO. This is not something that I was just like searching on the HBO website and I got it. I got this job because there was an email that was sent out to the students at my school. Mind you, nobody reads these emails because unfortunately they send them so often. And it's kind of like, we're over it now, we get it, there's something going on. Like, it's just kind of like overkill. But I always made it a point to just read through it because there was sometimes some really juicy stuff in there. And this time I was lucky. I saw that HBO was hiring and I knew that I was eager to work for a media company. And HBO is the media company to work for. So I looked at the application and I applied. But mind you, I wouldn't have found this had I just been searching online, because it wasn't online. It wasn't on the HBO website or anything like that. No other job portals had it on there. So the only way that I was able to find the job is by going through that email and applying that way. So really just be resourceful. Also rely on job boards. Like your school might have a job portal where they post jobs, but don't rely on that, because do know that a lot of other students are using that as well. So look at your options. LinkedIn posts different jobs. There are like Monster, like Jobs Inc., like search just jobs in my area. Like look, don't be afraid to just search for this, because sometimes you're not going to find that these people are posting that they have jobs. And also another great thing to do is actually go to sites' websites. A lot of times they will post something that's strictly on their website, and they won't put it on anything like Indeed, or they won't send it to schools. And it's just like, if you want to apply, you have to go straight to that website and apply. So if you have a dream job or a dream company you want to work for, also go to their site and see what jobs they have posted. So the next thing is slightly ignore the qualifications. So when I went to apply for this HBO job, it specified that they wanted rising 3Ls. So that meant that they wanted students who had finished their second year of law school. And I knew that that was not me. I was about to finish my first year of law school. But what I decided to do is just apply anyway, because I felt like there was a lot that I could bring to the table. I felt like I could really be an asset, and I felt like I could also learn a lot there. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, I know it says that, but I'm going to apply anyway and just see what happens. And I got the job. You guys, like, sometimes you just gotta ignore the qualifications, because there might be something else about you that stands out that makes them think, you know what? Let's bite the bullet on that one, because this person is a great candidate. So if it's saying like, you know, we want 50 years of experience, obviously, like, you know what, sis, you might not want to apply to that one, because they're not looking for you. But if it's something like that, where it's just a very slight difference, like, do not be afraid to apply for it. The worst that can happen is they say no. That is the absolute worst. You're not going to get fired because you don't work there. You're not going to get arrested. Like, there's not much repercussions. So don't be afraid to just apply. So what really helped me stand out is my resume. So that's the next point, which is craft your resume and tailor it towards the job. So what I did is I looked at the job description and what it was that they wanted from their employees, and I crafted my resume to show that I have those skills. It wasn't me lying, it was just me really trying to tailor my resume to what exactly it was that they were looking for. Now with modern technology, a lot of companies now have a software where they will run your resumes through, and if your resume does not have certain keywords, you will not get the job. Your resume will be in a trash, in a pile somewhere, and never to be seen or heard from again. So the best thing I can tell you is every single job that you apply to, you're going to be reformatting your resume and crafting it, tailoring it to what exactly it is that that company, that business, that school is looking for. You have to really do that, because y'all, technology is crazy these days, and they will have you out in the back. You won't even get in. You won't even get an interview, because you don't have what they're looking for. So you really just have to make it as though you are the more appealing candidate. And it's not to say that you're lying or you're embellishing, but it's really just saying that you are showing that your skills that you have coincide with what it is that they're looking for. So I crafted that resume like it was nobody's business. You would think that I have been working at HBO for years, and I had not been. And that's just what you have to do, you guys. That's the nature of the beast. You have to craft your resume in a way that they like it, so that you can get an interview. And that is the next point. The interview is when you seal the deal. Like, anybody can send a resume, anybody can send a cover letter, but the interview is when they really decide, like, is this somebody we want to work with? Is this somebody who we can be around for an entire summer? So the interview is when you cannot be afraid to brag about yourself. And I really want to say this specifically to my subscribers who are introverts. Sometimes people who are introverts feel very reluctant or very awkward about bragging about themselves, but what you have to realize is there's a very tactful way to go about doing that. You really just want to be able to play up and highlight what your skills are, because you're not the only person who got an interview. So an interview is really how they are able to discern who it is they want to work for them. So you have to show, like, that you have these skills and that you're confident in the skills that you have. You're confident in what you bring to the table. You're confident in who you are as a person, because that means a lot to somebody when they want to see, like, do we want this person to work for us? Are they even confident in themselves? Like, so confidence plays a very big role in interviews. If you guys want to see a separate video on how to interview, I have no problem doing that for you guys. Not in a bragging way, but I don't have a problem talking about myself, as y'all might know. Like, I'm good at interviews, and every single job I've ever interviewed for, I have gotten. And that's not to say like, oh, I'm the best interviewer in the world, but it's just to say I've learned tricks and I've learned different things that kind of help me be successful in interviews. So the interview is where you have to brag about yourself. Show them your skills. Like, I am great at reading contracts. I am great at drafting contracts. I've been drafting contracts for years. I'm great at networking. I'm great at connecting with talent. I'm great at whatever it is the job is looking for. Show to them that you're great at it, but also give them examples. Don't just be like, yeah, I'm really good at working with talent. And they're like, what talent have you worked with? Well, nobody, but I have some talented friends. Like, no, that's not what they want. Whatever you tell them, be able to back it up with facts, with experiences that you have, and what you've learned from that. And that is most important, because the interview is where you steal the show. That's when you get the job, the interview. Everything else, it's important. It's very, very, very important, but the interview is the most important part. If you make it that far, that means that you are already a great candidate for the job. You have what they're looking for, but do you have what they like? Like, are you likable? So the interview is key. And please, if you guys want a video on interviewing, please comment that below, because I promise you guys I will get that out to you guys as soon as possible. I have no problems with that. And then following that, wait to hear back from them. Now, if you are in a situation where you do not get the job that you wanted, do not be discouraged. That just means that that was not the job for you. There are still so many other jobs out there that can be your dream job. So you just have to be resilient. First of all, don't let the rejection make you discouraged. Do you guys know I got so many rejection letters during this process because I applied to so many places. I applied to about 10 jobs a day, which is a lot for somebody who's a full-time first-year law student. I applied to about 10 jobs a day, and I got maybe 100 rejections. And that didn't mean that, oh, that means you just can't get a job. A job is not for you, ma'am. That's not what it meant. It just meant that job wasn't for me. You just have to be willing and able to pick yourself up after you get that, no ma'am, we're not looking for you. Let her and try and apply to something else, apply to another job, and just keep going. Stay positive during the process, and I promise you guys will find your dream job. But with nothing more to say, I hope these tips helped. If you guys have other tips you want to share, please be sure to leave those below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you can be notified when I post new videos, and thank you guys so much for watching.